counting still continues in all Kalou constituency, where so far the percentage of the Form 35A that have so far been accounted for stands at about 15%. And this is about 17 polling stations out of the 144 polling stations, and so you can still see that it is still going to be a long night here. And I understand that IEBC is urging the polling clerks to accelerate their counting or their turnaround time to ensure that this exercise doesn't go beyond the 3 a.m. Timing. But you know what? We're going to be here throughout the night until the final ballot is counted and until the winner is handed the certificate, because that is why we are here, so that we can keep you posted on what's happening in all Kalou constituency. Remember, they went to the polls today after 3 months of grueling campaign, oh good Lord, which sometimes it was marred by violence. And that is why we need to discuss the question of peace. That's right. I'm hearing a lot of people saying that whatever has been happening in all Kalou is a mirror of what is likely to happen in 2027. How true that could be. I am joined in studio by Venerable Canon Dr. Wayua. She is a peace ambassador as well as a lecturer at St. Paul's University in Limuru, Kiambu County. Thank you very much indeed, Wayua, for joining us this evening. I first of all want to hear from you, when you cast an eye on what has been happening in all Kalou from the time that the official campaigning period was announced 3 months ago by the IEBC, what conclusions do you make?
Thank you very much for this opportunity to discuss about this very crucial issue. And just an overall assessment of the whole process, I would want to say that we have observed so many issues which have transpired, but overall assessment is that the by-election of all Kalou reflects both the strengths and improvements in the Kenyan democratic forum. And also the voter turnout was very impressive, I would say. And of course, it continues to assure us that the voters continue to believe that it is in the ballot where we can get legitimate means of choosing a leader. Yes.
I want to hear this from you. When you look at the political class, before we go to the voters, do you think they have behaved well in all Kalou?
The political class, I would say, in a way or another, from what we can see, you know, and the observation that we can make is that a majority of them have, you know, continued to maybe to talk to the voters in different ways, but at the same time, some, I would say, also have also behaved themselves, but at the same time, they have not, a majority of them have not reflected probably a true picture of peaceful coexistence. Because apart from the whole idea of voters and voting process, the whole idea of making and ensuring that these people will still live together before, during, and after election is very important.
And of course, when you look at how voters, you know, have also performed in terms of being mature, ensuring that they campaign in peace and they go about their business in a mature manner, have they conducted themselves in a plausible way?
Indeed. The voters of all Kalou, I want first to congratulate them for behaving in a good manner. Of course, there are some extremes that we would also see even amongst the voters, and maybe some temperatures rising, probably when we get the issues of maybe decisions, or maybe this is my side, this is a side of so and so. Some of the times you could see voters and communities, you know, coming up with a lot of issues amongst one another. But I would want to congratulate them, because even after today, there is peace. And even when you could listen to the residents of all Kalou speaking, they could always comment that they want peace and peace and peace. Yes.
Did they keep peace?
The people of all Kalou?
Yeah, they wanted peace. Did they keep peace?
Basically, I want to say that because until the time when we witnessed maybe the issues of the old people who are coming, maybe harmed people, and you could see even when they were seeing the vehicles coming, you know, at one point you could see the vehicles coming, and then they would tell the vehicles, no, you're not getting closer. In a way or another, I would say they kept peace, but at the same time, as temperatures also rose, there was also incident whereby some people or some people were maybe threatened in a way or another. Yeah.
I want you to speak to the pockets of violence that we witnessed during the electioneering process and what it says about us as a society.
Sure. As we have been following, politicians have been coming, and of course the 3 months of politics have been experienced, and you could hear people speaking about all Kalou, and all eyes were on all Kalou because of the by-election. And so I would want to say that as much as the politicians would want maybe to win, on the other hand, they should also, the citizens generally should also know that it is not about what I get. And ask yourself whether the small token that probably you are given is worthy 2 years or 5 years that will come after the electioneering period. Yeah.
When you look at the Election Offences Act of 2016, and more specifically Section 11, it speaks about election or electoral violence. And it goes on to say that candidates or people engaged in violence during electoral processes, they can be prosecuted. But yet we haven't seen IEBC or any prosecuting agency in Kenya taking any steps to hold anyone who has perpetuated violence in all Kalou, taking them to account.
Yes, I hear what you're saying, and of course this is a very important issue that we should look at. I like what the CS of Interior said, that of course they are going to take every person to account. I know that for Kenyans, this will be a very important issue for them to see that every perpetrator of peace and every person who brings violence or brought violence during this time of election will be brought into account. I think this is at the time when the Kenyans will say, yes, true measure has been taken to perpetrators and those who have brought or who had caused violence during elections. Yes.
I mean, as a peace ambassador and as as a person who has studied conflict management, when you saw the people of Old Kalou fighting each other and yet they have lived together for ages, how did that make you feel?
This really felt me feel bad as a peace ambassador. What I usually speak about is more of peace and issues of conflict, and looking at people of Old Kalou fighting each other, of course, brings a lot of pain to me as a peace ambassador, and I know also to Kenyans, because these people during, after, and even before elections were living together. So what is making them? It means that there is fire somewhere, or there is a voice somewhere telling them, this is not your brother. But of course, people of Old Kalou have lived together. And as you heard even from some people during the day, they say that we have lived together. And so it is a community. So seeing them fighting one another brings a lot of issue, and then ask myself, if the people of Old Kalou at this particular by-election can fight one another, or can bring violence to one another, then again, what is it bringing it to us? It shows that there is need for people to peacefully coexist and engage, and know that there is life after elections.
As a member of the Peace Ambassadors campaign, did you engage with the residents of Old Kalou or the political class that were campaigning in Old Kalou?
Okay, I could follow, because of course I have friends and colleagues as a clergy. I also have people in the ground, and at the same time also colleagues who belong to Old Kalou. Of course, I did not go there physically myself, but of course we have different peace ambassadors across the country who of course engaged and were able also to reach out to them, and we engage across on the issues of peace. But at the same time, even engaging through academic forums and holding, because of course I always engage and hold some forums to talk to religious leaders, to scholars, and also to the community. In a way or another, I would say yes, I engaged, indirectly or even direct. Yeah.
And I like the fact that you are a member of the clergy here in Kenya. And when you look at Old Kalou constituency, 83.5% of all the residents, they confess the Christian religion. And yourself, you've studied conflict management in the Christian architecture. If they profess to be Christians, as the statistics indicate, then where are we failing as a nation? Or who failed who?
What I want to tell you this evening is that, yes, as a clergy, as you have asked, we remain, the clergy remains to be the prophetic, or to bring the prophetic voice, and of course become the voice of the voiceless, embrace justice, promote peace, and at the same time encourage peaceful coexistence. But of course, we need also to challenge injustices that probably are found within a society. We need to remind the people that leaders, that authority is entrusted to us, and it is entrusted to us by God to serve people, uphold the truth and integrity, and respect humanity. But at the same time, even for us as Christians and as people, sometimes you would miss probably a point, or miss to engage with a brother or a sister, and from that point you may miss the mark. what I would want to encourage as a member of the clergy is that it is significance, of course, to choose to love God and to love peace and to engage with your brother from a human perspective. Because if I am in the church and as you are saying we confess Christianity, but again, you don't only talk about, we don't only bring the issue of Christianity, when at the back probably there is also another thing that is pressing you and telling you probably this is not what you are supposed to do. You are given something probably, and then you don't have food, you don't have anything to eat, and then somebody maybe comes, a politician gives you some money, and then, but as Christians, we need to uphold Christian values.
How do you, I want you to speak to us on the conduct of security agencies in Old Kalou.
Well, I observed, and of course we have also seen through the media, the security agencies, and what they have been saying that of course we are holding, they are saying that they are holding peace and security. The only challenge is when we got these people, these goons, these people who are armed, and probably we are asking ourselves, what and where did they come from? And where did they pass? That is maybe something that we need to challenge ourselves as a country, and we also look at where is the loophole? What is the challenge?
The people that we saw, fighting in the streets of Old Kalou town are not children. They are mature men and women. And from churches to schools, there has been clarion calls for people just to be peaceful and for people to differ peacefully. You support this candidate and I support this candidate. It is not that should not divide us. So what was triggering the kind of violence that we have been seeing in Old Kalou during the campaign period, and even today, what we witnessed in some pockets of Old Kalou constituency?
If I would maybe chip in and talk about what really transpired, I want to look at a scenario. And this picture whereby the people of Old Kalou have been living together. But of course now it is a by-election, which of course it is after a member of parliament passed on, and then now we want to re-elect, or they want to re-elect another member of parliament, of course to represent them to the parliament, but of course also to look at their issues of Old Kalou. But then the issue which transpired and people are fighting on the roads, as we saw, I would want to condemn it to the highest. But at the same time, there is also something that might have been triggered. And I would want to say the issues of politicians probably wanting to come, or maybe every politician wants to say that I am the one who should win. I am the one who should win. So I think all these issues, and then taking your people, taking a group, inciting them, or maybe giving them some amount of money or some little bribery, all this could have transpired, probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Dr. Wayua, I mean, you've been around for quite some time, and I'm sure you have followed the Kenya's political system for many years. Do you feel that Kenyans are increasingly becoming politically intolerant?
Yes.
Why?
I want to start by saying yes, because of what we are really seeing across the country. Mm-hmm. Not only Old Kalou, but even in different areas. But maybe I want to start by passing a message to the leadership, especially the politicians, that the politicians are the stewards of leadership in Kenya. or in any country, citizens expect service from the people who are elected. So I just want to say that we should become stewards of leadership, and of course, not in any way to separate or to divide Kenyans, but at the same time, bring them together, because leadership is entrusted by God.
Help us understand this. We all understand and we know the dangers of political intolerance. Why are people not keen on maintaining peace and political tolerance as we head to the 2027 general election? And this is reflected in what we have seen in all Kalou and other areas where we have held by-elections in the recent past.
I want to believe, Brian, is that the issue of political leaders or political leaders, politicians, may be placing their personal desires or personal needs or personal, issues that they have above the unity of Kenyans. When you find that politicians and the leaders, they should place the national unity above anything else. And of course, each one of them should be embracing the issue of national unity. And I think when you see all this happening among the politicians, among our leaders, among leaders, even in the religious arena, then of course we need honestly to tell ourselves, to bring ourselves back and ask ourselves, the national unity is of paramount and very important, and so we need to tell the people, the political class, and also the citizens, let us place Kenya above any other personal needs.
The people that I saw, fighting each other and throwing stones in all Kalou, to me they appeared like these are people in their mid-40s, early 50s. And these are people who were here in 2007, and they saw the dangers of a country if it get into a position of political conflict. Is it a sign that they didn't learn from what we saw in 2007?
Human beings are able to judge issues, and at the same time they are also able to be involved in malpractices and many other issues. But as you are saying, truly, these are people in the mid-40s, surely. But I want to say that these people, there must be something that is triggering them, or maybe forcing them probably to behave in a particular manner, because as they live, these are people who live together on a daily basis. These are people who fetch water together on a daily basis. These are people who take farm products together in industries and other places. So when you see these people behaving like this, it is not that they did not learn, but majorly because there are some triggers that are triggering them, or there are issues that maybe they are looking at because of personal issues, my personal candidate, the candidate that I support, just because of maybe a particular small token, I would say.
Let's also address the issues of bribery during the campaign period. As a clergy, what is your position on, because there was reported widespread bribery during the campaign season, and this is not only isolated in all Kalou. I mean, we always see this happening. Is it contributing to the growing political intolerance in this country, and how do we address it?
Surely that this is something that needs to be addressed because we have been hearing, the stories have been on air, and the people have been following what has been happening during campaigns. Sometimes some politicians would want to give some tokens, bribery to people so that they may vote. But I want this issue to address to the citizens themselves and to ask the voters themselves. If you are given very little incitement, something that of course you will eat today and tomorrow you don't have, but you suffer in the next 2 years or even the next 5 years because you have chosen the wrong candidate. It is upon us, and of course with civil education and each and every one of us playing part in educating each other, that we don't need to sell our birthright.
What is All Kalou, what message is it sending to Kenyans in 2027? And how should we make other by-elections, if they come, and other national elections in the future to be peaceful? To be peaceful, what lessons can we draw from All Kalou to make peaceful decisions in the future?
All Kalou incident today is, first, I want to say that first I also congratulate the people of All Kalou, because even not every case, not everywhere, but at least people were spreading the message of peace. And they were talking about peace. But today, democracy remains alive. This is something that we should always speak to citizens, and let us manage the next stage of the process with patience, integrity, and peace. Rejecting every kind of violence. And of course, let us also not listen to misinformation. Let us also not listen to people who might be misguiding us. Because all said and done, we will live in the same place. And all said and done, Kenya is ours to stay.
When you look at the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, and you consulted their data, they will tell you that 83.7% of all the residents of All Kalou, they live in the rural areas. And so these are indigenous people. These are local residents. And with that in mind, you would then expect them to know each other and to live as a close-knit society. And so you wouldn't expect to see the kind of violence that we have witnessed in All Kalou, but we are seeing it. What is this telling us?
This is alarming. First, it is alarming, and it is telling us that we need to go to the drawing board and ask ourselves questions on integrity and human dignity. Because as you are saying, truly these people are indigenous, living together within the same locality. They have played football together. They have, gone to celebrations together, to, Siadi and other things together. Whereby, of course, if it is dowry, they go together. If it is worship, they worship together. But then, of course, during election, it is like you are seeing a different person. So I want to say that we need to go back to the drawing board and reject violence of any manner during elections. Because it is like, somebody is blinded not to see your brother or your sister as a brother or a sister. But at the same time, I still want to go back to the politicians and tell them that they are being, they are bestowed with stewardship of leadership within that area. And so, if I win, let us go with a win-win situation, whereby, of course, we have the spirit of if I win, it's, if I win, we win, the people of All Kalou or the people of Kenya, but not, of course, it is me and me and me.
Look, when you look at Nyandarua County, in terms of county gross product, it is positioned at number 21. So you can't say that it's a badly off a county. It's not the best, definitely. And when you look at the economy of Nyandarua County, you're looking at about almost 200 billion Kenya shillings, and a population of 630,000 people. And so it has a very small per capita income, among the residents. Do you see poverty as a contributing factor to the level of violence and intolerance that we saw in all Kalou?
Poverty might not be the contributing factor towards the violence. Because as I have said, this violence, as the people of Kalou today said, that, they say that we have lived peacefully. And it is not actually lack of food that makes a person to fight another. You don't, because you have
Does
no
it
food.
contribute?
It contributes in a way or another, but at the same time, you look at these people, as you have said, there is, the agricultural
it's actually one of Kenya's bread basket.
Exactly. So you may not really say that it is because of poverty, although poverty in a way or another because of maybe unemployment and other factors may contribute, but the level of violence that you could see, it was triggered by something else, but not really poverty. I might be wrong, but of course, as I look at all Kalou, you may not really say it's because of poverty. But of course, there are still people who might be living even below poverty. But are those the people in the front of the violence? If I may ask?
Well, I'm not in a position to respond to that question. Because to be honest, I have not been to all Kalou, for the longest time. But in the recent past, we have seen the government taking a lot of development to all Kalou. Unlike 10, 15 years ago, there are new roads, there are sewer lines that are being constructed within all Kalou town. Education infrastructure has improved. There is a brand new hospital that is under construction. Well, it is a wing, part of what we call the JM Memorial Hospital. There is a brand new wing that is under construction. And so there has been a lot of development in the recent past. And so the question comes then, how then do we turn all these investments, not only in all Kalou, but in the entire Nyandarua County, to create jobs? Because if people are busy, if people, they have business to do, if people, they have work to do, you're not likely to see them in the streets throwing stones and throwing punches and, of course, hackling of a political process.
One, I would want to say that development is something that people of Kalou deserve. I mean, they need to be, they need to get development, and it is their right, it is their right to get hospitals, to get all this. But of course, as we have said, because also, as I told you that I'm not from Kalou, but of course, looking at it, you can say also, there might be also people who still need empowerment in a way or another, because... What
kind of empowerment?
In terms of, putting them up from poverty... Economic empowerment. They also require economic empowerment, because at every place, as you have said, there will still be a challenge of some people who are not employed. Across Kenya, it is, when you look at all Kalou, you look at Nyandarua, you look at another place, it is not different from Kiambu here and other places. So you still find that there are people, young people, who have no work to do. or maybe they have no source of income. So there is also that need of empowerment.
Well, if you're just joining us, we're giving you special coverage of the All Kalou by-election. And as you know by now, the vote counting is currently underway. And I just want to feed you with some statistics that are coming through. As of 23:11, that is 11 minutes past 11 p.m., 24 polling stations had, the counting in 24 polling stations had closed out of the 144 polling stations. And this represents about 16.67%. And these are statistics from the IEBC website. And these are not my statistics. And so that tells you that we still have a long night. We still have a long way to go. So you still have about almost 80 what percent, about 83 point something percent of polling stations that are yet to close their counting. And so the counting and of course the counter checking of forms 35A continues, and that's what you're seeing on your screen. You can see the polling clerks getting very busy here. And we'll continue to feed you with all the information that is coming out of the All Kalou by-election. As you can see, the streets are quiet. There's a heavy police presence in All Kalou to ensure that there is peace, and of course people there go about their business in peace. We have our reporters there, John Jacob Curie, as well as Giverson Minor, who will keep us updated on what's happening throughout this night. We are not sleeping because the voting or the vote counting continues in All Kalou, and we are here to ensure that we break the news on the winner. And of course, giving you everything else that you deserve to know from All Kalou. We continue our conversation here with Venerable Canon, Dr. Scholar Wayua. She's a peace ambassador as well as a lecturer at St. Paul's University. And she's helping us and us trying to understand how do we conduct ourselves in a peaceful as well as in a coherent manner as a society and as a people. I want to hear this from you, Dr. Wayua. Is there anything that you admired in the way the citizens of All Kalou have conducted themselves? Yes. What is that?
I admired first the turnout.
The voter turnout.
The voter turnout. This is like telling me that citizens have realized that the only constitutional way of choosing a leader is through the ballot. I also liked when I saw the different ages, you know, the very old elderly citizen coming to vote, showing that their patriotism, and at the same time that even at this age, they still need to make decision of their leaders. I also liked the young people coming, of course. This is telling us that even the young people are realizing that it is only through the ballot that they can also choose the leader. So this is one of the things that I really liked. Yes.
Tell us this. I mean, when you look at the population of all Kalou, I mean, you have a significant majority of people who will not be classified as Gen Zs, because out of the 634,000 people in Nyandarua County, about 30% are below the ages of 35 years. And that's why we saw a lot of old people, you know, coming out to vote in All Kalou. Where are the Gen Zs in All Kalou?
I think across, I saw elderly people, yes, coming out, particularly the elderly persons. And at the same time, I also saw the differently abled people the differently abled people were also coming. And I also saw Gen Zs who are also coming out, of course, voting and vigilantly, guarding their votes, as they said, that they are also guarding the votes because they really wanted to see their choices meant. I think in a way or another, there is still need for civic education, that even the Gen Zs can continue coming out in large numbers, because it is only through the ballot that you can make a choice of a leader that you want.
Before I let you go, I also want you to tell us this. I mean, when you look at, all Kalou constituency, you're talking about 1,109 square kilometers. You're looking at a population of 215,000 people living in that area. And it has attracted a lot of interest from the rest of Kenya. Why do you think this is the case? Because everyone is talking about all Kalou today in Kenya.
A by-election first.
And this is a by-election, by the way.
A by-election is an opportunity for the citizens of a particular constituency to also re-elect another member of parliament who can also lead them in the next remaining time. One of the interests is that the people of all Kalou themselves were coming out to elect their leader. But again, it also brings the picture, in a way or another, of the entire country as we head to 2027. So some people, are also looking at all Kalou as, okay, we want also to see where we are. As a country, we are in a political mood, we are getting there. But at the same time, I want to believe that the people of all Kalou also wanted to re-elect a member of parliament so that they may also be represented by a candidate of their preferred choice. Very
good. Anything else we need to know from you before I let you go?
Yes, I want to say this as an ambassador of peace. Peace is not the absence of disagreements. That is something that, of course, we all need to know. But it is, it is about the ability to manage the differences respectively and constitutionally. So what I want to say is that for us, we also need to know that the whole idea of the winners after the results. Winners should celebrate with humility. And those, of course, who will also lose, the losers should also embrace also humility, even as they manage the loss. Peace after election is as important as peace after. Before election and during election. So I'm calling upon the people of all Kalou, no matter the results, that we embrace, peace and peaceful coexistence, because in all Kalou is your home. And also for Kenya, a message for us at large is that Kenya is home for all of us. Before, during, and after election, let us shun from violence, which can also hurt and harm one another.
Very good.
Yes.
I think we can end up at that point, a very beautiful point, that regardless of the outcome, all Kalou remains home, Kenya remains our country. Dr. Wayua, thank you so very much indeed for joining us tonight, and of course for sharing with us that message of peace. It's urgently and really needed in this country.
Thank you very much too.
We appreciate you.
For the opportunity.
Asante sana.
Blessings to all Kalou people, blessings to Kenya.
Thank you very much. Venerable Canon Dr. Wayua is a peace ambassador and of course member of the clergy joining us tonight as we observe what is happening in all Kalou as the numbers continue to troop in. If you can allow me to give you some statistics before we sign off for now. You have now 18.06% of all polling stations have their numbers in, or have their form 35A in, and this is about 26 polling stations out of 144. Yeah, so those are the numbers. 26 polling stations have so far concluded and submitted their results. This is out of 144 polling centers, and this represents 18.06%. I can guarantee you this is likely to go on, for some time. And we do understand that voter turnout in this by-election was very, very high, but those numbers remain with IEBC. Well, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has commended voters and security agencies for overseeing a peaceful voting process in all Kalou parliamentary by-election. IEBC Commissioner Hassan Nur Hassan urged all political actors to maintain peace even after the by-election. He lauded security agencies for ensuring a calm and orderly exercise. Commissioner Jerry Derito commended the voters for keeping and maintaining peace, saying that the agency is committed to ensuring that this election is transparent and free.
We want to thank the people of Kalou for having turned up in large numbers, and much of the exercise has gone on uninterrupted. It's been fairly peaceful in many of the polling stations. People have turned up in large numbers. As at 3 o'clock today, we had 50.78% voter turnout of registered voters. That is quite a good turnout, and we expect that number to increase between 3 and 5. Those 2 hours, we're likely to have more. The most important thing is to have this exercise concluded in a peaceful manner. And we are appealing to everybody, all the actors, political actors in the field who are there now, to secure and maintain peace and order up to this time and up to the end of the exercise. And we expect that before midnight or around midnight, we will be able to tell Kenyans who the elected member of parliament is. The wishes of the people of Kalou will be respected. IEBC is an impartial arbiter, and we have done all our processes. Our greatest joy is that our machines, our KIMS kit, have all worked extremely well. We didn't have any failure, and we didn't have any problems in identifying the voters who have turned up. I want to thank the security team that has been deployed, large as they were, many as they were. They have been able to do a professional job. There has been very serious restraint by them so that nothing happens during this period. We are very grateful to them and to the police, our police and the IEBC staff who have done the work very professionally.
We asked all the citizens and all the political players to allow the electoral officials to count the votes peacefully in the presence of the agents, observers, and media, only the accredited persons who are in the polling station. The rest of the people, our advice and our call is that they go home and wait for the results. Results are protected not only by the security officers but also by law, that the law requires that the IEBC conduct elections in such an open and transparent manner that everybody can see which vote was cast and where it was counted.
Of course, those are members of the IEBC. Those are commissioners with the IEBC, of course, ensuring and telling Kenyans that they're going to ensure that the process is free and fair, and that the winner is going to be announced once the process is complete. We still got some more statistics coming in. As of 23:25, that is 25 minutes past 11 p.m., 30 polling centers have finished counting and submitted their documents out of 144. These represent 20 0.83%. Remember, we are coming back with more analysis. And of course, this is where we are putting an apostrophe at this point. We'll continue after the break.